How's your day going, lads? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about the newest Ghibli movie, Boy and the Heron. I watched it a few weeks ago back with one of my friends, and I have to say, that was a weird-ass movie. I've been thinking about it. I keep thinking about it, if nothing else, right? To give the movie a bit of credit. I can't stop thinking about it, because it was super, super strange, right? Okay, I will say, I haven't watched that many Ghibli movies, so it was actually, I'm pretty sure it was like my first or second Ghibli movie. I couldn't tell you for certain. But I felt it was just very strange. I don't know how I felt when I was watching it, but it confused the hell out of me, I'm not gonna lie. I know it was like a time travel, not a time travel, but like a multi-dimensional sort of multi-timeline thing. But like, it was still weird as hell. I understand the time period. But first of all, okay, the movie basically starts with a kid, right? I can't remember his name. We're going to call him Scarboy. Yeah, Scarboy. Because he gets a scar in the back of his head or something. So Scarboy. So we're going to talk. So Scarboy, he goes to Tokyo with his dad after his mother dies in a hospital fire. Poor thing. Alright. They do this really cool scene where he's running towards the hospital. That was really well done. It felt real abstract, but in like such a really beautiful way. Like, the visuals were fantastic, but that scene in particular sticks out in my head because it felt so abstract, but it also felt so good. It was kind of felt like he wasn't surrounded by skulls, but it kind of felt like that, even though that wasn't what they were going for. That's what it kind of felt like. He was surrounded by death. He was like running through the flames. Everything was going blurry. It kind of felt like you were surrounded by death, which I suppose is that kind of feeling, you know, you're enveloped by flames around death. As the life of someone you care about is being snuffed out, I suppose. But it was probably my favorite scene in the entire movie. Great animation, great music, all that type of stuff, right? Anyway, so after that, Scarboy goes to good old Tokyo, I think. Or does he move away from Tokyo? He might move away from Tokyo after the fire, that might be it. And they meet up with another woman. This is a few months later, by the way. They meet up with another woman who says, "Oh, I'm your new mother," right? And talks about all this, right? And he specifically makes note, "This looks a lot like my mother." God, that's strange, right? And this is where I was so confused, alright? The movie starts out with your mom's mother dying. And, okay, we know it's less than 9 months. You know, it doesn't look that much older. And there's a baby in the other woman's, so it's less than 9 months since what happened. And also, your one turns out to be his mother's sister. That is so strange. That is the weirdest part of the movie. And the whole plot line, right, goes through the story, and something happens with the sister, and the sister kind of gets kidnapped into a different dimension. He goes to that different dimension. He runs into a younger version of his mother, right? Oh, spoilers, by the way. Alright, I'm terrible with this. He runs into another version of his mother, yeah? And then, what happens after that? Oh, he also runs into a version of an old lady that looks after the house. But what happens after that is he goes into the delivery room, he tries to find the sister, and he goes, come home with me. And he's like, "No, I hate you." And she goes mental. And then after the whole movie, him talking about how, you know, he misses his mother and he wants to see his mother, he says to the sister, "Mom," you know, all that type of stuff, yeah? And then it's like, I understand the emotion of it, but still, we'll get into this later. And then the younger version of his mother that he meets later on when they're leaving the place for a reason we'll talk about later on, goes to her sister and goes, "Go home and be this boy's mother." I'm like, what? Alright, no, this is strange. It's not like I'm a surrogate mother now, you know, I was very close to my auntie, now I'm a surrogate mother, right? His father, or Scarboy's dad, little deadbeat arsehole, yeah? He's a samurai, they're descendants of samurai or something. His wife dies, and less than around 9 months after the incident, he has another child with his wife's sister. Like, how fucked is that? I'm sorry, how fucked is that? That's a really strange. And the fact in the other dimension, the younger version of the mother seems to like be okay with that. That's hella weird. Very strange. There's no like conflict or like, you know, real thought about how the dad's been a bit strange. And like the dad seems like a decent dad, you know, he's terrified of his son getting hurt, so he obviously cares for his son. He's obviously just a really strange person who goes after his wife's sister after she dies. That's really fucked. I don't know, I was just confused about that the whole movie. And then it turns out that aliens, like real like Spider-Man 3 stuff, an alien rock came down. They went into the alien rock. That's how you get into the other dimension. His great uncle went into that dimension, became the ruler, and uses blocks to stack that dimension together to see how it becomes. And we get like an evolved form of pigeons and an evolved form of like all that different stuff. Hella weird. That's the best way I can describe this movie. Strange as fuck, man. I don't get it. I really don't. Boy in the Heron. Also, we didn't mention the Heron. I'll get back to that in a minute. Yeah, an evolved version of a heron shows up. A little chubby man in a heron suit that can also fly. You know, and this is just standard weird stuff. You know, animals involved. It's like the Gibli Disney style of things. All right, that's not the weird part. Out of everything, I was just weird about the whole motivations of every single of the main characters. Like the great uncle makes sense. He wants a successor. And he ends up not having a successor, and the world ends up collapsing of sorts, right? And he just goes back to living his normal life. And the final scene of the movie is him just leaving to go back to Tokyo, I think. Which, you know, fine movie, like. But the whole time I was sitting there just confused about how there's no acknowledgement of how weird that is. That his dad got with his wife's sister like less than 9 months after she died, and at all even, but like specifically that long ago since then, like at all is strange, but specifically that early as well is like really hella creepy. And there's no like idea of, oh, the dad's a bit strange, or they had a weird relationship beforehand, or like the son doesn't seem to know the sister, so obviously there wasn't much family interaction before the death of the mother. And then the mother seems okay with it as well. So I'm just very confused the whole way through this movie. Then it turns out his great grand uncle's like god of some sort that created a world using Jenga. And I don't know. I'm sure there's like some secret lore to this movie. But if this is what all Ghibli movies are like, man, you can count me out. It's hella strange, okay? I'm not gonna lie. Maybe it's like all this hidden lore with all the different Ghibli movies, and because I didn't watch the previous ones, it doesn't make sense to me. But like, I just don't get it at all. Like, and I'd like people to like explain it to me. Like, what is it about Ghibli movies, specifically The Boy and the Heron, that is so great? Like, it's getting the Best Animated Picture award. How did this get nominated, but fucking A Silent Voice didn't, or Your Name didn't get nominated for the Oscars? Like, how is this stuff getting nominated, bro? You know, the fact of Silent Voice, I'd argue, my favorite movie of all time, by the way. We'll talk about that someday. I actually do want to make like a proper video on that. I know I've said that many a time, but I just feel like it's not the time for that yet. Later on in my life, I suppose. But like that movie, bro. Like, how is this getting the Best Picture at a nomination, and fucking A Silent Voice doesn't at its time period? Like, that makes no sense to me. Like, this movie was so strange. Like, don't get me wrong, it was a beautiful animated movie. Like, I enjoyed it. And actually, the Scarboy himself was although he was a bit awkward, he was a very endearing character later on in the movie, especially his interactions with the housemaids and stuff. And that's kind of, they were also very funny as well. You know, they had a lot of interactions, like trying, like giving him stuff for trades and stuff, and they kind of, you know, that old wisdom type of stuff, but like trying to hide your wisdom to let the kids figure it out. Like, that was funny. I enjoyed that. But like, I don't know. Like, if this is what all Ghibli movies are like, I have to go through and like look at it now and sort of think it and see which ones I prefer. I think next is Spirited Away. Give a look at it, bro. I'm sitting here perplexed. I really am. Just talking about this movie again makes me feel really perplexed. I don't know if it was based on like a time period, if it's a period piece, and this is just about a specific family that there are rumors about. I don't know if it's based on anything, like just fantasized. Like maybe there is a special family who, the dad ended up marrying the sister, and then they're basing this story on this folklore, and they just embellished it for like, theatrical purposes. I don't know. I don't know. I didn't do research for this. I just wanted to talk about how weird I found this movie and why is it getting nominated for Best Picture. I know it's like supposed to be the last Ghibli movie, but I doubt it's gonna be the last one, because you're not gonna end on a movie like this, are you? You're gonna want to end on a more, critically acclaimed movie. I don't know. Is this critically acclaimed? I'm actually right. I'm gonna check that now. Is it? Let's see. Is it critically acclaimed? Let me have a gander. What? Okay, Boy in the Heron. What's the? Oh, actually, I have it here. How about my phone? Let me have a look. Okay, so it's IMDb is not really accurate. Here we go. What's the storyline here? It's a Golden Globe Award for Best Animated Feature Film. That seems a bit. Okay, so Cinelinx really liked it, apparently. Best Miyazaki's best work. Yeah, no, I don't see it, man. I really don't. I enjoyed the film, don't get me wrong, like I enjoyed watching it, but I'd never watch it again. It's not one of those films. I don't know. People seem to like it. Maybe there's something I'm missing. As I said, it could be like a very specific period piece that you need all the information for, or it's like some sort of love letter to Miyazaki films, and because I haven't watched any of them, it makes no sense to me. But I don't know. That whole plot line about the sister and the mother just kind of made me feel strange. Like, I would have understand if it was like, oh, she's coming to be a sim, like, the way a lot of the times when a family member dies, another family member who's related to that person will step up and kind of take a more maternal role or a fraternal role. Is that yeah, fraternal? Yeah, fraternal role, right? And that way. But just the idea of like I don't know, that's just the idea of the dad just getting with the sister, like it's just weird to me. Very, very weird. Especially, I don't know, it's incredibly strange. I know that I'm harping on that point a lot, but it perplexed me the entire film. And the fact there's no like talk about, why that might be an issue, or like like there's no focus put on it at all. There's no conversation with the dad saying, I feel bad, but like I feel bad about what I'm doing to my son, or how this might look to my son, but like love works. Like even a corny line like love works in mysterious ways, that sort of way. Like something stupid like that, but still it would work in its own way, I suppose. I don't know. I did like don't get me wrong, I did like how, is it Nanako's her name? Yeah, I think so. She tries to like become more maternal to him, like in that way she's trying to be more protective of him, which I did like. And he does obviously care for her because he goes to try and save her. But it was just strange the whole way through. I did not understand it. Like, maybe it was like, was it an environmental message that we have to take care of the planet? Because the whole thing was that the other part of the universe was like falling apart slowly but surely. And we need, like, this new leader was growing old, and we need to replace it with a new generation who can rebuild the foundations, and like, and then out of nowhere, a third party who's been living in the world comes and screws it all up. Like, is that the big idea? Like, oh, it's no matter how much change we make or whatever, someone's gonna come up and just mess it all up. Is that it? And so we should go back and just focus on living our own lives. Like, is that the message? I don't know. I really don't know, to be honest with you. It was just a very confusing movie. And I could be an absolute dumbass. And if I am, sorry, Miyazaki. Big apologies. Big stupid Irish man doesn't understand your film. So, woohoo. that's fine, I suppose. Look, there's probably some deep message I'm not understanding, but hey, it was just a really weird film to me, and that particular plot point just confused the hell out of me. But with that being said, let me know what you guys thought about the movie if you had seen it. If not, I spoiled the entire film for you, so what's the point in going to watch now? Still go watch it. The animation's really good. I would speak about the music, but I honestly forget the music. After like 2 weeks, unless you're listening to music on repeat, you're gonna forget the music. And it's not the type of music I would have added to my playlist. Like, it's not like Xenoblade 3's soundtrack, where I'm still listening to it to this day, man. Carry the weight of life. Dun 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 dun. Bro, I was vibing to that song so hard. Man, we need to talk. We need to talk about Xenoblade 3 at some point again. I love that game so much. Okay. But no, seriously, enough talking about Xenoblade 3. Let me know what you guys thought about the movie in the comments below. And with that being said, I hope you have a fantastic day. And watch better movies than this, I suppose. Yeah. I'll see you all next time. Goodbye. Okay, that was a terrible clap.